Hey everybody, Tom here with Hidden Beats, and today we are talking with Mike from the Prairie States. How are you doing, sir?
Too bad, Tom. How you doing?
Same old. It's a bit hectic here. My wife's upstairs doing all her Christmas baking right now, so there's a messy kitchen and all that fun stuff.
That's a worthwhile trade if you're getting some sweet bacon out of it. That's all good.
Yeah, I've been going up and down the stairs just whenever something comes out of the oven, I'll grab a piece just to sample and make sure it's good enough for everyone.
The quality control. I like it.
Exactly. Well, we're here today to talk about you, about your music, about the band, and you have a new album coming out on the 12th, I believe.
Yeah, January 12th, Trouble is coming out.
Well, let's get started. For those who are new, can you give a little bit of an intro about you and the Prairie States?
Yeah, I mean the Prairie States started back in 2017. Our singer Matt was looking for a guitar player and kind of paths crossed, and Jeff and him started working together. And then they slowly started to build up the band. And I was actually the last member to join. I was living with Jeff at the time, so I was just upstairs, and he's like, "Hey, you want to play some bass?" And that's that's how the band was born. And yeah, we just started immediately working on our first record. We didn't waste any time, and then it's just been kind of an upward trajectory ever since, which is we're very fortunate, and we feel very grateful for the success that we've had so far. So.
And you guys have, I mean, I think I read something about like 11 Alberta Country Music Awards and a whole bunch of other things that you've been.
Yeah, there's been a country music. Alberta has been very kind to us, and I mean, it's such a great community, and we're just very happy with how things have gone. Yeah, and awards are always nice, but at the end of the day, it's people are digging the tunes. That's what matters most. So.
And what do you think makes the Prairie States stand out kind of over someone else, which would make someone want to listen to you?
I mean, I think we're just a little bit different in the way that we approach country music. It's our flavor of country is just a little bit different, and I mean Matt's voice is so unique that yeah, we kind of have our own thing going, and it's a little bit of rock sprinkled in there, which I think is. Um, I know on radio it's a lot of kind of like the pop leaning stuff,
Hmm.
which we definitely, I mean, we're all fans of all sorts of music. So we love ourselves some chewy, bubblegum, poppy country music, just like everybody else. But
Yeah.
yeah, we kind of have our own take on it. And I think that people resonate with that
Yeah,
take
I
on
feel
country.
like a bit of a roots rock type of influence, I guess, in there.
Yeah, for sure. It's everybody's got influences from all corners of music in this band that it it shows up in the tunes.
Hmm. Now, how did the new album come about? Trouble Is.
The new album it's basically the we signed to a record label, Willing Records, and everything that's been released on that label is all coming together now on Trouble Is. So it's all the singles that we've been putting out, starting with Rebel Phase last year, and going all the way through to Trouble Is, which is actually the latest single. So it's just basically it's a big growth stage for the band. It showcases a lot of like these new stages of where we're at. Songwriting's a little bit more grown up. The approach to the production is a little bit more grown up, and yeah, so it's a pretty awesome collection of tunes for us. It's a high watermark for us for sure.
And that actually kind of led into my next point was about how you felt the band and the music has evolved over the years, going back from like the 20 tongue tied to now. The sound has it's the same, but it's different. It has some different feel to it.
Yeah, it's I mean when we were writing that first album, it was predominantly all in house. We were writing everything in house, outside of a couple of tracks where our producer Jay Sparrow had lended a hand and even lended an outside cut altogether. And then into Every Little Town, all those songs were, we were writing. It was kind of like our first venture into co-writes. writing with a lot of really amazing writers within Alberta and Canada. And then with Trouble Is, it's kind of like the branching into some heavier hitting Nashville songwriters that we've been co-writing with, and even some outside pitches that we were kind of, I think we were very not closed off about it before. We wanted to have um, our voices on everything, and then it turns out that some of these songs that were pitched to us, they were saying what we wanted to say, just in ways that we weren't able to say it yet. And so it was really cool to have some of these songs being pitched over to us. And it's like, there's some songs that are written by people that are some of the greats from you know right now, and it's wild. So it's a huge step forward for us, sonically and the writing too. So I think I lost your audio. You can still hear me though, eh?
Can you hear me now?
I've got you back. Yeah.
Okay, my mic seems to have died on me here.
Ah, bummer.
Yeah, that's never fun, but so I was saying the title track "Trouble Is your newest single out. Is the story behind that come from like personal experiences with you guys, or how does that really play out?
That was one of the first songs that we wrote on our first trip down to Nashville. Like we hadn't done it yet. A lot of our peers had spent time down in Nashville writing, and we hadn't done it yet. And that was right after we signed with Willing. Bobby Wills sent us down and to see what we could do with some of the people he's been writing with for years. And yeah, it was just kind of like a regular, we're sitting around and everybody's pitching tunes, and Wade came up with the idea of Trouble Is, and it was all about it's all about like how there's kind of two sides to every story when it comes to love. Sometimes you're not ready to hop into a relationship, and then all of a sudden that perfect person is right there in front of you. You just like, you know, you weren't ready, but you got to get there because the you know amazing people don't wait.
Hmm.
Or things like those moments you have with these special people in your life, or your loved ones, they just don't last long enough. And so yeah, I think everybody has got experience with that. And again, it was one of those situations where I'm so happy that we were able to kind of take that leap and jump into some of these bigger writing sessions, because these ideas, I mean, this was again one of the ones that Wade pitched, and I'm just so happy that he did, because it's saying the things that we need to say, just didn't know we needed to get there.
Hmm. Now, when you guys are putting together music, do you have a specific process like in the studio? Do you brainstorm things and play it out, or how do? Because I know there's a few guys in the band. Is there
Yeah,
different pieces everyone brings to it?
it would start really, when we were doing recording, it's we're usually hammering it out in the jam space first. um, but a producer will have ideas as well, and it's um, it's a combination of it's really a team sport when it comes to recording, where like back in other projects that we've done, it was very more insular, kept it all yourself. You were like, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine, and you're not willing to only share in the experience of the creation, but you're not willing to share in yeah, it's you just weren't really willing to share. And now
Hmm.
it's very much a team team sport, all the way down from you know um, people at the label helping out with like you know really finding that sound. Sometimes we can't really articulate what we're looking for, and then somebody else will say something and like that's exactly it. And so um, yeah, it's really much a you know a team effort when it comes to everything from the right all the way out to the way that the cover art looks. It's everybody's got to get involved and is happy to be involved.
No, and it sounds like a pretty cohesive thing. You guys put out a very good product, and when your name came across my desk, I hadn't been familiar with you as much before. I heard the name, but I decided to go digging a little bit deeper, listen to the music and things like that, and I was impressed with what I heard.
Oh, I really appreciate it, Tom. It means a lot. Like when it's the industry, music industry is very difficult. You know, it's not one that comes easy to anybody. So I think anytime that somebody, appreciates what you're all that hard work you're putting in, it means a lot. So thank you.
And then it's also nice getting to know you, like behind the scenes of it, I guess, in a sense, because you can only kind of get so much from listening just to a song, but now I actually get to hear the story behind it too.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, and I know some of my favorite tunes. They don't. You find out what they were actually about. You're like, oh, that's not what my interpretation was, and which is amazing about music.
Hmm.
But I do definitely feel like in country, I really enjoy how there's much more story behind it, and it's you can really the songwriter really can take you on a journey, which is
Hmm.
what's so great about this music.
For sure. And then you guys also just got off a little winter tour I was reading up about.
Yeah, we were gone for 3 weeks doing. We were out with great Canadian artist Jess Moskaluk. She's she's such an amazing artist. Been doing it for such a long time at a high level, and she took us out on the road for 3 weeks. We were doing it was the Winter Wonderland tour, so there's a little bit of Christmas stuff going on in there, but um, yeah, it was a great time.
What's Prairie States show like? Like what can a fan expect walking into that?
Um, I mean, we don't. We're kind of relentless. It's pretty high energy, and like I say, with the rock influence in the rock sprinkle in there, it definitely comes out in the live show too. We're not very stationary. We're not shoegazers staring at our boots. It's a good time,
Hmm.
and it's always fun. When people actually come out and see us live, it's like, oh man, I was love listening to you on, love streaming the tunes, but it's a way different thing seeing you live. And it's like, yeah, well, I guess that's what it's all about for us is, we just really love playing live, playing loud. So
Hmm. Like I started out as a concert photographer, so I would go cover shows and getting to see the live show versus what you were listening to, and then like the pictures that I get out of it after, it's like, wow, that's a hell of a night that I was just at.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's great when there's people there to capture it too. We for the longest time we wouldn't, we just let, we just play the show, and then we started bringing out a buddy of ours who's taking photos and stuff, and it's like this is great just to have capture the energy and capture the essence as opposed to just how was that show, how was yeah, I
Hmm.
think it was fun, and you see the photos like, oh yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, like I'm based in Ottawa myself, but I have
Nice.
part of my team. I have someone in Calgary and different places out there too. So I get to
Awesome.
see the fun Alberta country side of music because I don't get to experience that on my end.
Yeah, is there not as much country music kind of happening organically out in Ottawa?
No, country's good out here, but it's a different feel. Like it's
Ah,
Alberta has that kind of that's what it is. It's country music, but here we have like the mix of the hip hop and everything else, so it's not as dedicated of a scene, I guess, in that sense.
yeah, it's I definitely feel like in Alberta there's a really strong group of kind of emerging country acts that are really really trying to put their mark on it, and so unique, and each artist is so unique too. So yeah, we're really lucky out here, and there's such a great support system with Country Music Alberta for emerging country artists here. So we're super fortunate.
Hmm. Now, who would you say more people should be listening to then from the country scene that you don't think are getting enough attention?
Oh, I mean, Haley Benedict
Yeah.
is she's only, I mean, I feel like she's only one more single away from just like, okay, humongous. She had such a huge year through, the top of the country. um, you know, contest through Sirius XM, and yeah, she's such a great person too. Like, which is amazing when
Hmm.
somebody's having such great success, um, and also is a great person. That means a lot. So yeah, Haley's awesome. I mean, geez, we're always big fans. Like Dan Davidson, he's kind of like that indie superhero for country artists. But Tony Stevens, um, he's out of BC. Bretton Rose. Yeah, the list goes on. Like I could talk all day for people you got to be checking out. But yeah, Tony's got a new song coming up pretty soon called Whiskey in Colorado, and that thing's a jam.
Yeah.
So
I actually was lucky enough. I got to talk to Haley just after she was announced as the winner of
awesome.
the top of the country, so that was fun. And Dan Davidson, I was working with him at Boots and Hearts this year. I was the photographer for him there.
Awesome. Yeah, his show is killer. And I mean, he's
Hmm.
just his whole band are just killers, and again, great people. All these people are just awesome people. So
Yeah, I was thoroughly impressed with his because he mixed in like the little Mario themes and all these other. I was just like, oh, this is a great show.
yeah, he doesn't shy away of showing his personality in his live show, and that dropping that Mario little jangle in there is definitely a Dan staple, and it shows off his personality pretty well.
Hmm. Now, is there someone on your go-to playlist people wouldn't expect you're listening to?
Oh, I mean, for a while there, I mean, I'm right in the middle of NFL season, so I my listening is pretty much sports talk radio. So right
Yeah.
now, it's a lot of Bill Simmons, but yeah, no, I mean, for music, I think, I mean, I was listening to a lot of female pop singers for the longest time, which was um, like an artist Sigrid. She was
Okay, yeah.
a go-to. So it wasn't. It's funny. I like how that stuff was kind of dominating my playlist for a bit. It wasn't so much country, um, but yeah, for country, I'm wondering. I mean, there's nothing out of the ordinary when it comes to country for me. I'm a huge Eric Church fan, and listen to a ton of Chris Stapleton and all that Brooks and Dunn. That stuff is,
Hmm.
especially that reboot album, that thing where it's got a bunch of modern artists on there too, and you got the modern production on all those classic Brooks and Dunn tunes. I just cranked that thing right up. But yeah, I don't know. Like other than those, Sigrid and Billie Eilish for a while, like it was, I was
It's a
listening to
different
a ton
feeling sometimes with them. Yeah.
yeah. So I think maybe those would be a bit of a surprise, but yeah, Dua Lipa, I was listening to that album a ton,
Hmm.
but yeah, then it's
No,
right
those are
back
fun
to
too. Yeah.
then it's right back to Sturgill Simpson and Metallica. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can't go wrong with those names either. It's great just to be able to vibe out to a song and have that kind of feeling from it doesn't matter what it is.
I just like how these days, it definitely doesn't feel like anybody is catching flack for what they listen to. Like when I was younger, you kind of listened to one very narrow genre of music and that's it. And if you
Hmm.
deviated, you'd catch hell from your buddies or something like that. So you just kind of kept it to yourself. But now it's like everybody just listens to everything and it's all good, which is awesome because there shouldn't be any limits on what you listen to.
Like yeah, growing up out for me it was like the classic country. And then when I hit about high school, then the pop punk era came in, and then I realized that classic rock and all that stuff was something. It opened my eyes there. So I'm a fan of a good song. I don't care really what it is.
That's it, man. And that's, I think, what, again, it's like what's just so great about country is that it's all about the song.
Hmm.
So, yeah, good song. You got my ear.
Yeah, exactly. So I do have a couple fun questions I like to ask everyone, especially on my first time talking to the person.
Yeah.
And it's a great insight as to how you think. So
Oh,
my
geez.
first one is my favorite question out of them all is what's one thing you think should be asked more in an interview that's not asked enough?
Um, what? I mean, geez. I don't know. I kind of like the standard questions, and I think the top three movies. Your top three movies says a lot about a person. I don't
Yeah.
know. We were just on the tour. We were trying to go through it with everybody on the bus, and it's surprising sometimes what when some people will say is their favorite. So I don't know. That's always I like keeping it light. Don't need to go
Hmm.
too deep with the post, but yeah, top three movies. Because
Well,
then
what
I mean we're in like we're always talking about music, so to kind of get away from it or
what would your top three be then?
well, my top three. Well, Pulp Fiction is definitely on there. I always go to the rewatchable stuff. Like, what can you just always throw on, and it always feels fresh. And Pulp Fiction is that for me. And
Hmm.
then there's like I had like three in one. Like I'm a huge fan of The Dark Knight and The Town. And then
Okay.
when I found out that they were all kind of based on Heat, made a lot of sense because I really liked that movie as a kid. So those three I consider as one.
Yeah.
And then Beetlejuice.
Okay. Yeah, no, I like Beetlejuice. Fun. It's a fun movie you can just put on and not care that it's there. It's something to watch.
Yeah, and he's not in it enough, which is funny for it's titled after this character, and he's not in it as much as you think he should be.
Well, there's supposed to be a second one coming out at some point.
I I'll hold my breath until the trailer comes out.
Yeah, I mean that's the story with movies these days is who knows anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, see, I couldn't necessarily pick a top three. Like I like a series of them. But one of my favorites of all time is Mr. Holland's Opus.
Oh no way! There you go.
Yeah, it's just I like the story behind the whole fact of going through his life just trying to give music to people and do different things and the struggles and all that stuff. And yeah, it's just a good movie. I can watch more than once for sure.
I That's with Richard Dreyfuss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it, so
Oh,
I'll
really?
put it on the list, and it'll be a Christmas Day watch or something like that.
Yeah, it's definitely like a good family watch movie because it goes through the teacher's life, like a music teacher, and all the struggles and everything that happens. Has a lot of different hit home moments for it for sure.
Nice, I'll check it out.
I actually was lucky enough to meet him one time, and we were talking about different things, and he's telling me about different stories in the movie from behind the scenes, and it just made that whole thing for me is like one nice
Oh,
closed in thing now.
that's awesome that you actually get to meet somebody from your favorite movie. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, some good stuff that I get to do sometimes. Well, so we're talking about movies, and the next one's kind of an offshoot to that is who would play each of the band members in the movie of your lives?
Oh, well, our drummer would be played by Jay, would be played by Jason Statham.
Okay.
I think the only similarity is the haircut.
Yeah,
Um, and I just think it would be pretty rad to see Jason Statham drumming in a movie.
that would be
Uh,
actually, yeah.
Jeff would be played by, oh man, this is difficult.
Hmm.
Um, oh man, I'm just gonna say Bruce Willis because he wouldn't stop talking about Die Hard on this tour.
Okay.
So that's the only reason I'm gonna say Bruce Willis. Um, there's really no other similarities there either. Jeez, I'm terrible at this. Doc. I don't think anybody could play Doc. Doc's a unique cat. I think he would
Yeah.
have to play himself in a movie, and I think he'd prefer to play himself in the movie too. Um, Matt. Oh man, and yeah, that's a curveball, man.
Hmm.
I think you're only gonna get three out of me because I can't figure out. I couldn't figure out Matt or myself.
It's one of those things that makes you think. It's all of a sudden you're going, "Oh my God, what would happen in this and this?" and just keep going forward.
Yeah, geez. Yeah, I don't know. You stumped me on this one.
All right. I don't mind stumping people
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah. So far you have it sounds like you have an action movie with Doc playing himself as well. Like it's gonna I don't know how that's gonna turn out.
That could be fun. You could picture some like expendable style explosions
There
in the
we go.
background and stuff like that.
There we go. There we go.
No, that would be good. Is there a fun fan moment that you guys have had on the road or just in general that kind of stands out above something else?
Oh, well, there's just so many actually on this tour. And I think it was just, there was actually few moments where you get some younger people coming out to the shows because it was a lot more family of friendly events. We weren't playing clubs and stuff so much, and just to see how excited and yeah, just to actually see the excitement on these young people's faces when it came to like live music. Um, and yeah, it's live music is going to be alive and well for a long time, um, because there's a younger generation that's just arms wide open,
Mm-hmm.
embracing it, and yeah. So I don't know if I could pinpoint one specific one, but it is very yeah, it's very exciting and motivating to see how people are really embracing live music and are going out to see. I mean, we're an emerging act. Jess is definitely not emerging, but just people are going out to support live music. So it's and how excited they are about it. So that's yeah.
I think it's interesting now. It's getting to a point where people are actually going out to enjoy music just because it's music, not necessarily knowing an opening act or anything like that. They're just, hey, it's a night out. Let's go listen to some good tunes.
That's exactly it. There's and it doesn't need to be, there's a whole thing right now where there's a lot of concerts that are it's not cheap to go out to see a big
Mm.
arena show these days. Um, but it definitely is people can come out and see a bunch of really great, you know, talent that, for half a quarter of the cost. And I think people are really starting to realize that and they're supporting um, more emerging stuff or more homegrown stuff too.
That's for sure. Is there a track that so say you were introducing the Prairie States to a new listener, what's the first track you would think that they should listen to?
Oh, I mean, off of the new album, uh, I mean, "Waiting on You" was such a big, pivotal shifter for us. That song had a life of its own, and really, yeah, I mean, it was our first top 30 of radio, so um, that seems to be the gateway for a lot of people right now. Um, but other than that, like, there's another song that's unreleased that's coming out on the album called "Nowhere Town" that is just slamming, and it's really got that energy and vibe that I think that really speaks to who we are and what the band is.
Hmm.
So, I mean, my favorite tune from us changes from week to week. So,
Yeah.
if we had
It
this interview in 2 weeks, I might say something. I probably would say something totally different. But yeah,
it's like your favorite kid until you have the next one, and then that one's your favorite until that, keeps going.
yeah, right.
Yeah, no, I've had that answer a couple times about just, oh, I love this one so much, and then next time it's, oh, I love this one this much more, and
Yeah,
it makes sense if you're having fun doing what you're doing.
totally, man. Yeah, it's but that waiting on you was a game changer for us. So I think that's a good spot for people to start.
Okay. I'm taking notes here too because I add things to my playlist and things like that when
Oh,
I'm going
awesome!
through just to keep up with everyone.
Right on.
Now, what do you hope people take away from your music?
Oh man, uh, just honesty, and we're trying to be very genuine, and we're not writing songs about partying all night and doing all that stuff, and it's not to say that's not what we do, but we just really like to keep things genuine and yeah, and alive. Like it's the album sounds you'll hear it, especially like something like Nowhere Town. You're going to hear that thing slamming.
Hmm.
That's yeah. We just at the end of the day, really, it all comes down to that live show too. So I think this album really drives people to what we would be like on stage. So yeah,
And what motivates you to keep pushing forward? Is it just making it for the fans?
just love making music. Love writing, love artwork. love everything. Ever since I was a kid, I think all of us are the same way. It's just like this is the coolest job, and if you can keep doing it for as long as you can keep doing it, it's just so much fun. You know,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, you think about it, like you get to go up on stage and make loud noises, fun. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like it's the best.
Yeah. How can you go wrong if it's just throwing something out there in the world?
Yeah, and if you're being genuine with it too, there's just you know you're uh, you're nailing it.
Hmm. So my last question, probably the most important. Are you happy?
Oh, dude, I just we just get wrapped up a 3 week tour. I'm at home with my wife and my dogs, and yeah, I'm over the moon. And once once we this record drops and everybody gets to hear this, we're just gonna keep going. We don't stop. So we're already working on new music. So yeah, I'm happy. Couldn't be happier.
That's good to hear. That's all the fun things I have written down. Is there any final tidbits of wisdom you'd like to leave to people?
Nah, man, I just like, you know, I think people always ask what's the best way to support, artists when that's what they'd say when they come up to the merch booth. What's the best way? It's like, is if there's an artist out there that you love, stream them as much as you can, add them to playlists and stuff like that. And that changes everything for an artist. So I think, for anybody who's listening who's just wondering what's the best way that they can help out, you know, and not just us, anybody, any
Hmm.
artist that they love. That's the easiest and it makes the most impact. So just listen to what you love and then pop it next to other things that you listen and love.
For sure. And go out to the shows whenever you get a chance.
That's it.
Support those shows.
If you can afford it, get out and support and go have fun because that's what it's all about.
Well, I fully expect to see you guys coming out this way in Ottawa sometime so I can see a live show and just enjoy the night for sure.
Awesome. Looking forward to it, Tom. We'll have to hook up when we get out to Ottawa.
For sure. I'll make sure we're gonna link all the stuff. This is gonna come out probably just around album release time, I think, is what I've been
Perfect.
told. So I'll make sure to link everything so they can kind of stay in touch and listen to some good music.
Really appreciate it, Tom. Thanks for the interview.
Yeah, not a problem. Good to get to know a little bit more about you, and I'm sure we'll do this again at some point.
Hopefully.
All right, well, enjoy the rest of your day then.
Yeah, you too, K Bud.
Okay, bye.